all shakes down, those two franchises, man, just consistently year in and year out, head and shoulders above the rest, at least for this latest stretch of history here over the last 5-6 years or so. And that's another good one starting tonight. San Francisco, St. Louis, Kansas City, Baltimore. The winners will meet in the World Series. And then once that's over, then we can really start talking about what the Indians are going to do here this offseason. And you can bet we're going to have a lot of those conversations, including with Mike Brandenberry, who will be back in his normal Thursday slot here next week. Hey, guys, let's take our final break of the day. When we come back, we got a lot of the news of the day to talk about. Adrian Peterson, is he really going to go to jail for he wasn't that the smartest thing that he did? He came out and admitted that anyway, we'll talk about it when we come back. Not intelligent, but then again, I don't know that being intelligent can surround many of the things that have to do with Adrian Peterson lately. We'll talk about that. Cavs in Brazil, latest on Kyrie Irving, and so much more. Don't go anywhere. Final segment of the Sports Fix coming your way next.
All the best things I love them with a sister and a cousin, only started with a little kiss like this.
And now, a very special announcement from the Sports Fix.
Black bears weigh between 200 and 500 pounds. Brown bears weigh between 300 and over 1,000 pounds. Black bears run away from you. Brown bears run at you. When attacked by a bear, simply lie still on the ground and cover your face and head with your hands. When the bear has finished batting you around and mauling you, contact the U.S. Forest Service.
And that was a message from the Sports Fix.
Hey guys, before we go to the break, I want to talk to you a little bit again about our good friends at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted, the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championships, some of the hottest fights in the world today. Each and every one of their huge events, Harry Buffalo is one of the few places in Northeast Ohio you can go there and watch each and every UFC fight at the Harry Buffalo. And let me tell you, I've been there. The people are out the door. They are to the rafters. It is one of the craziest environments for some UFC fights. Wing Mondays, they've got great deals on wings and drinks, and every day of the week there's a different special, a different deal. And don't forget the Bison Burger, the unbelievable. It is the combination of a fantastic burger and eating healthy combined into one unbelievable sandwich. You have got to get a Bison Burger while you're there. So whatever you're looking for, whatever day of the week, Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sundays, there's something for you at the Harry Buffalo North Olmsted, just outside Great Northern Mall. Check them out today. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
It's the Sports Fix. We'll be right back.
It's just an old ball, really. Nothing more. We grew with it and studied it. We owned it and shared it. We prayed they would hit it and miss it. We prayed they would catch it and drop it. We wanted it to bounce and fly, speed up and slow down. We prayed it would come to us, and we wanted to give it away. We have watched it weather storms and bask in the sun. And it's always right here in our hands. Cleveland Indians, established 1901.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Ohio knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hi, this is Dean Chenoweth, head coach of Cleveland's Lake Erie Monsters, and you're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix Live, wrapping things up in the final segment here of the week on the Sports Fix Radio Network. You heard Coach Chenoweth, the Monsters. Doug Plagans previewed it with us during training camp the last 2 weeks. Their wait for the regular season has ended on the road. They take on the Grand Rapids Griffins tonight. Puck drops at 7 p.m. You can hear Doug Plagans call the action on the Monsters Radio Network. I think some of those games are going to be carried on my former broadcast home over there on WHK, The Answer. So, no hostilities. I got no problem giving them a plug. But, yeah, Monsters action with Doug Plagans, always fun to watch. And tonight it starts on the road. But tomorrow, Cleveland, if you're looking to get warmed up maybe for Sunday, you want to start the tailgate a little bit early, start it at the Q. The momentum's building down there anyway. Start it at the Q. Monsters drop the puck on their regular season home slate of the schedule against those same Grand Rapids Griffins. And again, 7 p.m. going to be the puck drop. It's opening night. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Get down there to the Q. Whatever the opening night record is, I don't have it, but whatever it is, Monday, I want to talk about breaking the opening night record for the Monsters there. I think they can do it. Let's see what happens, you guys. Get out there. Get the party started early for those Monsters. But, man, I feel good. Monsters hockey action finally back in full swing here, starting this weekend. Starting tonight. That puck drops just a few hours from now for those of you listening live. And then Tuesday, Dougie will be here. Fresh Dougie P. I like to give my guys nicknames. I don't know if he'll appreciate that one so much. But Doug Plagans, my man, with us on Tuesday. And we'll talk about the first stretch of Lake Erie Monsters action as the season underway. Man, there's a whole lot of stuff to look to this weekend before we even start previewing the weekend. Although, a lot going on in Brazil. Let's start with the Cavaliers there. In Brazil, latest to come out first, for those of you guys wondering, Kyrie Irving ruled out, not going to play in the game coming up tomorrow in Brazil, the Cavs and the Miami Heat. They say it's precautionary. Kyrie said if it was a regular season game, he would play. But with that ankle sprain that he got the other day, word is they're not going to have him play. It's the right ankle sprain. He's going to sit out this one here. No reason to risk it, they say, in a preseason, but you never like to see your guy walking around in a walking cast there early on. Speaking of, a couple of, it's funny, the sound bites that are coming out of this, because these are things that a lot of us kind of knew, and these are the things when the media or when the Cavs or anybody says, you know, fans get excited. They go, well, talent means you're going to win. When people say there's a lot of other things that go into it, here's a couple of things like that right here. I don't know if you guys have heard yet, but several different people have spoke out. Mario Chalmers talked to some reporters about how Kyrie Irving has a little bit of a wake-up call coming from the way he's going to be talked to by LeBron James during the course of the season. He talked about how scolding was the word that he used to receive from LeBron James. Says it's going to be a different factor than Kyrie Irving has dealt with so far in the early stretches of his career here. And so that's going to be one of the interesting by notes to see, because here's a guy who, for whatever it's worth, I don't know what it's worth being the alpha male on a 27-win team, but, you know, he's been the guy, and now that's not going to be the case. That's going to be an interesting thing to watch there. And Chalmers said LeBron, a dominant player, if he feels something's not going the way he feels it should go, he speaks his mind every time about it. Kyrie's going to have to adjust to that. Kyrie and LeBron's going to also have to adjust to Kyrie and his personality, but it's going to be a different factor for Kyrie Irving than what he's dealt with. So that's coming from somebody who's been in Kyrie Irving's shoes, and that's something I think we've known. That's going to be a big part of it, because that's going to be how he grows, is if he's able to, and I'm not saying bow, none of that, none of that showing deference or anything. I just mean the way these guys are able to mesh, that's a part of that. And along those same lines, Chris Bosh has been all up in the quotes this week anyway, but he talked about how similarly playing with LeBron will be a bit frustrating for the first time when you get into the heart of the season, for a guy like Kevin Love. A lot of people compare Bosch to Kevin Love as far as looking at the three put together one place and then the three put together another place. Obviously, the guards get compared. LeBron's the same guy. And then you compare Bosch and Love, which are both kind of stretch guys there as well. But he talked from his own experience. He said, you no longer get your pick of the buffet. You get your entree, and that's it. And he said sometimes it's an adjustment to go, wait a minute, I need my appetizer and my dessert and my drink and my bread basket. I'm hungry. He said it's a lot different playing alongside LeBron. But if you can get through that, good things can happen. But it's never easy. Even up until my last year of doing it, it never got easier for me. He said, Kevin Love, it's going to be very difficult for him. He said, even if I was in his corner and able to tell him what to expect and what to do, it doesn't make any difference. He's going to have to go through it the first time, and it's going to be extremely difficult and extremely frustrating, and he's going to have to deal with that. And but then he brought up some of the good things, too. He said, he's very good at using his body to get shots off, but he was able to play a different game in Minnesota than he's going to play. And that also is something that we've talked about. But those are the warts in this thing that you have to see how those work out before you can just go talent. It's not like the video game. It's not like going, hey, LeBron's a 99 overall and Kyrie's a 94 and Kevin Love's a 95 and oh wow, that's going to be the best team in the league. The video game ranks them number one. Those are where being played on paper separates from reality. But interesting to hear because that's coming from guys that have been in the situation. Chalmers was Kyrie Irving, and Norris Cole a bit too had to experience that. And Love and Bosch, very similar there. And those are guys saying, hey, this is what I had to do to make this thing work. And guess what? That makes a whole lot of sense when you look at them not winning things the first season, especially Bosch talking about how difficult it was to go from being the man in Toronto to deferring and allowing somebody else to be the alpha male, and how, yes, if you do it, at the end result, good things can happen, but it's not easy to do whatsoever. Does Kevin Love have the mentality to go out there and do that? But we'll find out. Their first preseason look at a real NBA opponent is this weekend. They take on the Heat. A lot of things involved in that one. It'll be interesting to see, but this is the first time. Obviously, they practice against themselves and against the Euro team, so now you've got a shot at an NBA squad before they come back and then get rolling there. Like I said, one day right after they come back, they're right back at the queue for another exhibition game, and they start rolling that exhibition schedule. You've got the Cincinnati and the Columbus game that are technically home games as they tour the state of Ohio, so that'll continue on. But right now they finish things up in Brazil here. It'll be the Heat, so there's something else on the slate coming up this weekend. But Kyrie Irving officially will not play in this weekend's game. A couple of just little notes in the news before we set things here for the weekend and get out of here. I noticed the Adrian Peterson story. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the prosecutors down in Texas have asked the judge to revoke AP's bail and have him arrested and jailed until his court date because he admitted that he had smoked some weed before he took his urinalysis test for the court, because when you're out on bond, you have to test, and you're not allowed to technically you're not allowed to drink alcohol or any kind of, obviously, illegal drugs or whatnot when you're out on bond. So the prosecutors now are saying, hey, you know what? He came out and admitted it. We want his bond revoked. He's out on that $15,000 bond for the felony child abuse charge. December 1st is his trial. They want him now locked up. I don't know, bond revocation. I don't know if they want to make a higher bond or if they simply want him locked up until December 1st. But either way, a judge has to decide that, and a hearing will be scheduled sometime next week at the earliest, we're hearing. But there's definitely a possibility there that he could end up sitting in the pokey for 6 weeks until he goes to court. If you get the wrong judge that wants to, especially because you're an athlete, I'm not saying, just like people talk about the benefit that you get by being an athlete, when the spotlight's too bright, and especially when you're red hot like Adrian Peterson is in the bad way, then they'll go the opposite way. You may likely find a judge that normally would have just said, okay, let's double his bond and make it $30,000 or something like that or whatever, or we'll fine you and we'll hold you in contempt of court and charge you or something. But you may run into a judge that says, yeah, we agree, you shouldn't have smoked weed, and now you're going to go to jail until you go to court. could very well happen. But we'll know some more about that next week. They're gonna file the paperwork. But I thought that was interesting. They're not messing around, man.